Helping provide insight in President Xi's trip to Greece, John Sitilides joins me in the studio. He's a government affairs specialist and consultant to the U.S. State Department. John, thank you for being on the program. Let me begin with Greece's largest port, Piraeus, controlled by China's shipping giant Costco. The significance of this and what it means in terms of the Belt and Road Initiative.
It's a very important element of Chinese Belt and Road strategy into Europe. And this goes back to 2008. So the deal was first struck by several administrations ago in Athens. It's prospered in the last decade. It's probably going to total about $1.4 billion. And it may be the single largest investment in the Belt Road Initiative anywhere in the world, exceeding even that in Pakistan. And so it's very strategically important for China, penetrating Eastern and Central European markets. It's very important for Greece. This is a country whose economy collapsed 8-9 years ago, and nobody was looking to invest in the country except China. But it is raising red flags in Brussels because they have procurement laws there about tenders, public tenders, for any major transport projects. And so they're concerned about both Greece and Hungary connected by this land-sea express lane that your correspondent described.
So concerns in Brussels, but what about the local community, businesses in Greece? How do they view China's investments?
Two ways. One, first of all, it's been a major influx, of course, of investment proceeds, and that's been very, very important for Athens, for Piraeus, for the Greek economy, and for Greece's transportation and infrastructure linkages throughout the country and into Eastern Europe. But you also have a very ossified labor regime in Greece, and so those labor unions have been very concerned about Chinese labor laws and the like that demand much more flexibility than what Greece's unions have previously allowed. But that's a relatively small sector of the Greek employment sector. For the most part, this has been a very beneficial arrangement for Greece and certainly one that's been very important for China.
Talk about these 16 agreements. Which to you stands out the most?
Well, certainly the one in Costco is going to be the most important one, Costco's operations in Piraeus. But you also have very important deals involving agriculture, that's Greek exports into China. You have the Bank of China that's going to be opening up its first branch in Greece. Very important financial linkages reciprocated by a Greek investment opportunity in China in the finance sector. You also have energy because you've got China that owns a 24% stake in Greece's power grid operator. And so you've got a number of different sectors, very multi-dimensional trade agreement, very beneficial for both countries. But again, I think there's going to be some pushback from the European Union. And the U.S., of course, is very much concerned about Chinese inroads in a very important part of the NATO alliance in southeastern Europe, which is a strategic theater for the United States and the West.
So, John, are these fair criticisms?
It all depends on what perspective one brings to the table. The Chinese perspective is we're looking to promote reciprocal, mutually beneficial trade and investment. The Greeks are still looking for significant investment in the country. That drive has been sputtering a bit because everyone is waiting for Greece to, quote unquote, turn the corner, but many parties outside the country are still not convinced. And the U.S. has not been any major investor in Greece to date, although that may be changing in the months and years to come. And the major European powers, they're very much concerned about Chinese inroads. Look at Germany, for instance, whose own industrial predominance is very much threatened by China's Made in China 2025 initiative. So I think you'll see a very interesting interplay of dynamics here between China, Greece, the European Union, and the United States from the outside looking in for quite some time to come.
Do you think this is going to damage Greece's relationship with the EU in any way?
I don't. Look, Greece is too integral, a member of the European Union, and not everyone has to be completely harmonious in all of their policies, but I think there will be some eyebrows raised. I think there will be some...
There already are.
and those will be more pronounced, I think, in the weeks and months to come. And the Greek government will have to go out of its way to reassure Brussels that this is not going to be damaging to the European Union's larger economic and financial strategy. But Hungary is in many ways in the same boat. They're an EU country, and they're part of this land-sea express lane. Serbia and North Macedonia are not yet in the European Union. But Greece and Hungary have some explaining to do to Brussels.
All right, we'll leave it there. John Sitilides, thank you, as always.
Thanks for having me.